So I was looking through my wardrobe and I thought, do I have anything Five Nights at Freddy's related to do for this video? And I was like, no, I really don't. I don't have even a Scream shirt. I'm like, damn. And in the last video, I wore the costume, but I'm like, Ghostface Funko Pop is at least good enough and almost Scream related in Five Nights since we actually have both those leads in this one. Hey, what's up, you guys? It's me, Derek, here, the overview, back again with another video. So we got a second trailer for Five Nights at Freddy's 2, which I could just say we're in a month within this movie coming out, and I feel like the hype is almost at its point because at New York Comic Con, I can just say we didn't get a clip. We got a couple announcements like voice actors, like Matt Pat joining the cast as Toy Bonnie, and weirdly Megan Fox as Toy Chica, which I wish I recorded it in the audience because it was a audible confusion. I don't even know what you call it. Exasperation, I think it is. I was like, that's not the voice I would have expected for this. But okay, a couple of the gooners in the theater are going to be happy. But going into this trailer, I don't even know if there's anything else more to show. Like, I feel like you might at least reveal at this point that Skeet Ulrich is in this movie as Henry Emily. But I feel like, okay, besides that, are we still going to see like a couple of the other toy animatronics that we haven't seen yet? Because I know we've seen glimpses of them in the trailers, like the marionette, the mangle, or maybe even some William Afton flashbacks, because we already know Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is a prequel in the games. But in the movie, it's a sequel. So in this case, hopefully we get to see a lot more of him. And funny enough, even with me just looking at this trailer, let me just advise a couple things about New York Comic Con when they did this panel. So it's kind of cool that they announced Matthew Little and he jumped on stage. But also, fun fact is the fact where it's like, yo, these Five Nights fans are crazy. And I just hope they don't pull on Minecraft in this theater because just hearing a couple people in a full panel room just scream out Five Nights quotes, I'm like, oh, this better not be another Minecraft. But what am I thinking of? It's the holidays. Let them be. And if that does happen, I'm like, yeah, they're gonna lose Five Nights in prison. Long intro out of the way. Let's get to the trailer.
So you wanna tell me about your bad dreams?
It's always the same.
The Afton household.
Your dad.
Hmm.
We're never gonna be able to move forward until you deal with some of the mess you left in your head.
My father was a monster.
Garrett's
You know
airplane. Hmm.
Everyone called it an accident, but it wasn't until years later when
There
those
he
five
is.
children went missing that I knew she was murdered by him.
Charlie.
Gonna go back to Freddy's, I mean?
I think my sister.
Charlie or Charlotte, whichever name y'all call it. Balloon Boy. The Withered. And they all weirdly look good compared to the poster, which I thought.
Half of this town will be dead by morning.
Hmm. And it's the Night Guard. The second trailer, let me just say, it kind of didn't show anything new besides the two characters I'm actually thinking about. But I'm like, okay, besides that, it's a fun trailer. At least it shows a little bit of the horror highlights and a couple scenes of the toy animatronics. Also with the Withered, because the Withered ones, I remember that they put out the poster, the first one, and it was just like, oh, the toy animatronics inside the two, where unlike the first one movie, where they actually did the whole "What Will You Survive" Five Nights at Freddy's with all four of them in front of the Fazbear restaurant. These posters have just been showing the two first with the toys, and they just put out one with the Withered. I was like, that's interesting. I know we've seen them in the first trailer, but also, are these Withers supposed to be like the original Freddy Fazbear animatronics? Because if you remember from the last movie, that I guess you could say the pizzeria closed down and they all got destroyed or demolished. because everything went crumbling down. But you do see William Afton's Springtrap alive still. Whether I don't even know if that restaurant is still out there or that's still going to be like in preparation for like Fazbear Frights, if they're actually going to be doing that later in the third movie. But based on what I'm seeing, it feels like this specific Freddy Fazbear is like the second location is going to be supposedly where the second restaurant is or the sister location. I'm not even sure if that's going to still be a factor in this thing because since they're all doing their own lore anyway, they might as well just include it. Like I feel like the animatronics in the first movie won't be the same ones here because it could be like, oh, that's basically old Freddy, old Bonnie. They just used their parts to rebuild the toy animatronics. That's not the way it was in the games. It was more like the opposite, where the toy animatronics were first, and then the withered animatronics were just leftover pieces and parts until they had to remodel and reboot them. So like that, they'd end up being the actual Fazbear animatronics at the main Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Keeping up with the FNAF lore is hard, but actually trying to correct logic and things that don't make sense is harder because I'm like, yeah, that's what a lot of people do with the first movie and what feels like is going to be that way for the second. We got some scenes of Henry, Emily, and Charlie, but I feel like that whole scene as well might be a flashback, or I don't even know if that's like the only scene he's in, because it would be kind of cool to see him and Matthew Lillard on screen again. Because I feel like, yeah, I know it's not gonna happen later within this movie because I know he's still waiting to come back. But it feels like we might see a little piece and pieces of what happened in the first restaurant because I feel like, yeah, we got glimpses of it in the first movie about what happened with the 5 missing kids. But I kind of want to see what an actual flashback to that night or the birthday party, as they call it in the games, would happen. Most famously, the Bite of 87, which is also not the correct one, but also the Bite of 83, which is the first Fredbear's Family Diner, which I don't even know if we're going to be mentioning that one. But that's the plan for future sequels down the line. All I have to say is that the trailer's still good. I'm surprised that the movie is not like overhyped just yet because I'm like, okay, everything's been quiet with the promotions. Nothing too big to show any reveals. We just see the main animatronics going in and out, mostly the same footage. Either that or they could be hiding a couple things in the background, but we just don't know. All I can say is that I'm going to be in for a good time when it comes out. And if they could keep tradition with the first movie, there are 2 songs specifically for Five Nights at Freddy's 2 that I want them to include in this. I don't even know if it's going to be like a tease, like in the credits we're going to hear it, but I don't know. There's 2 specific songs I'm like, the Living Tombstones did it the first time. I wouldn't be surprised if they do both for this one because there's like 2 songs people associate with this movie, and I can just say whichever one they play, I just know it's going to be like a crowd in the audience singing it. Like I know I missed out watching it in theaters because it was on Peacock also, so I'm like, yeah, it's like right here. I can just press play. But seeing the reactions on YouTube to everybody singing Five Nights at Freddy's in a public theater, yo, that would have been a bop to hear. But also, I don't know, with these songs, I just know that people are going to sing their hearts out for it. All right, guys, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. All my social media is down in the description below. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.